And now, for a conversation presented by Accor, please welcome the Chief Marketing Officer at Accor, Stephen Taylor, in conversation with Skift President, Carolyn Kremins.
Hi, Caroline. How are you? I believe you might be on mute, but it's the catchphrase of 2021.
Absolutely. Thank you. Because that would be a really dull conversation, right? If we couldn't hear each other. Well, actually, it would be exciting because we could hear you. Anyway, I'm happy to be here with you today, Stephen. And, hopefully next time in person. I look forward to when that time comes. But let's set the stage, okay? Because we don't have to go into what the last 18 months was about, right? But it was definitely fraught with extreme change in consumer behavior, right? Mm-hmm. So we had things like work going remote, concern for health and well-being skyrocketed. And out of this, there were new values and sensibilities that really started to emerge, specifically around travel. So as we just heard Sean O'Neill, our editor, talk in the last session, and the big question for all companies is now that things are starting to come back. Do we revert back to the way travel was before, or do we embark on a new approach to reach this new breed of traveler? So, Stephen, for the past several years, Accor has been really aggressive and bullish about its augmented hospitality strategy. Which was really a point of differentiation from other hospitality brands. So I'm wondering if you can first briefly just share with our audience, what does it mean, the idea of augmented hospitality? And also, is this strategy going to change now that we're in this post-vaccinated world, and any initiatives that are new because of the time that we've just been through?
Well, thank you, Caroline, and hello, everyone. It's an incredible moment of reflection and inflection. And for those of you who have not been aware of the term augmented hospitality, it's really you can define it by really saying it's about daily relevance. And what we've done over the last few years is really look to expand hospitality and the definition of hospitality beyond the four walls of a hotel into adjacent industry verticals like co-working, like luxury concierge, like apartments and villas. But the real goal and the objective, and I think it's even more relevant now, today in this post-COVID world than it was previously, is to drive daily relevance. So I'll ask you a question, Caroline, maybe is, how many times do you think we see our guests on average? I mean, on average, maybe I'll answer it for you. It's a very small number. When you look at the total, it's about 2 or 3 times per year. Right, and that is an incredibly small number. So we have to get to a point, if you look at how the likes of the OTA platforms, Google, Uber, Grab are building daily relevance. Augmented hospitality is really about how expanding the definition of hospitality and moving beyond targeting travelers and actually building daily relevance by delivering value to the local community around the hotel. And that happens in lifestyle hotels today. It's happened for 30 years in lifestyle hotels. It's happened in certain geographies like Asia, Middle East, Africa, where hotels are the social hub of a destination. But I think hospitality groups haven't really exerted the full weight of their resources and power and their loyalty programs to build a value proposition that actually appeals to an infrequent traveler. And that's really what sets Accor apart from our competitors, is this obsession that we have to not only drive value to travelers, but also to drive value to the local community. And that's something we believe now more so than pre-COVID. And so we've been building a lot of capability around how do we break out the services in our restaurants and bars to cater and add value to locals. How do you do that for our 600 spas, our thousands of fitness facilities? So it's a real mission, and it really sets us apart. But I would argue it's now more relevant than ever in this post-COVID era.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think super smart in terms of just being part of their lives on a daily basis. And I think that's the key, not just to be there when they're traveling for the few times a year. So it seems like it's working well. I want to also talk a little bit about some of the trend lines. When we started out this year in our mega trends, we talked about this concept of soulful conscious travel, in which travelers want to align with their value and going beyond sustainability. There's this concept of regenerative travel, which is on the rise. And this is the concept of basically leaving a destination better off than they found it. It's about building back better. And I know Accor's been doing a lot of work in and around the whole sustainability efforts and also regenerative travel. And I'm just wonder if you could speak to how you're serving those needs now moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think every brand needs to have a purpose, right? The consumers have evolved and they expect brands not only to deliver an exceptional product, but also to do good. And that's obviously easier for let's say, more newer brands, more recent brands than some of the legacy brands, but it's still an expectation that consumers have. We've launched a brand called Greet in the last couple of years, which is really, I would say, focused on the reducing consumption, reusing, recycling materials, and the circular economy, where you're trying to minimize consumption. So I'll give you an example. The staff have uniforms that are made from recycled ocean plastic. The furniture is recycled and secondhand furniture. We have wonky vegetables, right? Organic fruit. So highlighting that vegetables and fruit don't need to look good to taste good. We're also
wonky vegetables. I love it.
You heard it here first. It's not something maybe you've heard before. But also, I mean, we're giving people second chances. So recruitment programs for refugees and for people that are down on their luck. So that's an example of, I think, how brands need to have a purpose at their core, moving beyond the program. And then to your actual question around regenerative travel, I think that's a huge trend. Right? I think people are now really being very thoughtful about why they want to travel and the reasons to travel. And it's not just for leisure, but they want to do good. And one brand that I'm very passionate about that we acquired a few years ago is Mantis, which is a kind of ecotourism conservation brand. And it was founded by this amazing man called Adrian Gardner, who purchased a huge amount of farmland in the Eastern Cape of South Africa and set it up as one of the largest rhino sanctuaries in Africa. And you don't just go there for your standard safari, you actually go there to take part and to be part of the conservation efforts. So I was there a few years ago, and I had the great opportunity to actually take part in an operation where a poacher had shot a rhino. And the bullet was still in the rhino, and the Mantis team were essentially removing that bullet and patching up the rhino. And they do that for marine life. They do that. They educate local communities. So I think it's that type of regenerative travel that really is going to come to the fore in the next couple of years.
I agree. That's amazing. And I can't even imagine what the experience must have been like. And I actually just learned recently that Mantis is the acronym of Man and Nature Together is Sustainable, right?
That's right. Well done. Yeah, you got it. It's
all right.
That's
it shows very cool.
Yeah.
But I also just want to bring up before we move on to the next question is that I just read within the last 24 hours that Accor has just partnered with the International LGBTQ and Travel Association, which is a huge global partnership. So congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So we've been talking a lot, over the last year about safety in travel. Hospitality brands were forced to rethink what it meant to keep guests and the staff and the community safe. And I know now, as I'm starting to travel again, I'm starting to pay attention to things I've never even thought of before. So I'm just wondering if you can just talk a little bit about what some of your initiatives and even potentially technologies that you've launched to help keep your guests safe and protected.
I mean, more broadly beyond technology, I'd be very proud, at how the industry has responded. And that's not just Accor, it's all of the entire hospitality, the big corporations, as well as, the independent hoteliers, the way in which, our industry has responded to the crisis, supporting those in need, supporting the local communities, is inspiring, right? It shows that we as an industry have incredible heart. So that was remarkable. And I think one of the signature programs that we put in place was this All Heartist Fund. And I don't know if many people know about it, but it was the decision that we made with the board of directors to take 70 million of shareholders' profits, so dividend, and actually reallocate it to the welfare and to supporting employees and their families. And I was speaking to the head of this program just this morning, and the numbers of people that initiative, that foundation has supported is remarkable. Something like 77,000 people in the space of the last 15 months. 77,000. So it just gives you an idea. It's sad, but inspiring, but incredible to think that many people have needed that sort of support over the last year and a half. So yeah, we've implemented technology, like All Connect, partnerships with Microsoft Teams to facilitate virtual and hybrid meetings. But I think what makes me proudest is that sort of initiative that gave back so much to so many.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, to say the least. So as we're just shifting a little bit, as we're talking about this hybrid world that everyone's living in now, merging physical to online environments. I'm just curious, how is Accor innovating to create value for its customers in this hybrid world?
I think
I know yeah, go ahead.
No, there's two different areas, right? You can either innovate and create new business models, or you can innovate around the existing customer experience. So an example of the former is ghost kitchens, right? So we're looking in Dubai, and we're expanding this concept across the Middle East and Europe, is taking the fact that people couldn't stay in our hotels, they couldn't dine in our hotels. We've created with a celebrity chef an F&B brand, a food and beverage brand called Kitchen. And instead of just using the physical restaurant identities and brands, we've actually looked at demand, looked at the opportunity, and created virtual restaurants and F&B concepts as well. So we've created an Italian concept, Japanese, Chinese, and so on. And that's being delivered through platforms like Deliveroo or Just Eat. So, I mean, that's an example of how we're, again, delivering value every day outside of the stay. And it's how we're innovating and delivering against a kind of in a digital environment. There's other examples that we, of course, have with some of our traditional brands. So Novotel has launched partnerships with Calm, which is a mental health app. We launched virtual health and training sessions with Les Mills to try and drive value to guests, even though they're not staying in our hotels. So that's another big focus, and something I think will stay, even though the pandemic hopefully is subsiding.
I am a huge fan of that Calm app, by the way. I'm sure a lot of people discovered it over the last year.
Who's your favorite? Are you allowed to disclose? Who do you listen to when you go to sleep? Are you allowed to disclose that?
Oh, that's my secret. I can't tell.
Okay, Matthew McConaughey.
No, I'm equal opportunity. But anyway, we're almost out of time. But Stephen, before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you, what are you looking forward most when travel returns? Where are you going next, and what are you looking forward to?
Listen, I think we feel like we've lost time, right? I feel like I've lost time. I think many people have lost valuable time. So I'd love to say that I'm going to go to some far-flung destination on the other side of the planet, but actually where I'm going is to my family and friends. So I'm going back to Scotland, and that's what I think people have missed, that family connection. So and that I think is a lesson for the future, right? Is is do what you love, spend time with people that you love, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, what a great note to end on, and also hug a lot, right?
Indeed.
So so watch out the next time I see you. Anyway, Stephen,
okay.
Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.
Thanks, Caroline. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.